The name is Krispy Kreme McDonald. Nice to meet you. The most common comment that people post on my channel is, why do you hate so much on ham operators? So I want to clear this up, clear the air. I want to talk about that and a little bit about why ham is actually very important and in many ways better than GMRS. I will try to keep this video short and to the point. I'm not going to roll some stupid intro with music. I have too much respect for you, the viewer, to waste your time like that. I know your time is very valuable. I know you're a very important person. So let's just clear this up. I don't hate ham operators. I have never said anything against ham radio operators in general. What I do hate is sad hams. Those are the ham radio operators that post stupid comments online and basically act like common jackholes. Yeah, you. Come here. Come here. Sit down. You need to listen to this. If anybody needs to hear this, it's you. Sit down and listen. Pay attention. As I was studying to get my ham license not very long ago, the first thing that I did to learn about the process and study to take the test is I went online. Like pretty much everybody else does, we go online to learn more about the hobby and how to take the test and how to pass the test. And when I went online, what did I find? You. The sad ham. With their condescending, holier, smarter than thou attitude, being rude online, especially to beginners that didn't know anything, asking questions, arguing with each other over the most trivial little stupid things, trying to prove who's smarter. It's like a bunch of 9-year-olds. You should be ashamed. In the real world, I know a lot of ham radio operators, and everyone that I know and have met and have dealt with are great guys and girls and old ladies. And I think that's because the sad hams, you sit in the basement all day doing nothing but trolling online forums because they're too pitiful to go outside and actually do anything. So the majority of the ham operators that are out there, we know, are good, helpful, kind, normally socially adjusted people. Unlike the sad ham that we find online so often. These days, in the 20th or 21st century, whatever, these days, when a potential new ham radio operator wants to start learning about the hobby, they're going to go online. And when they do that, sad ham is sitting there, lurking, waiting to chase them away. And that's just what happened with me. Sad ham came out over and over and over again, and he drove me away. You drove me away. That's how I found GMRS. I didn't want to be associated with the sad ham. I didn't want to have anything to do with you or your group. Nobody likes you. You smell like Ben Gay and old gravy. Now, to be fair, when you go online to online forums or YouTube channels that deal with GMRS, if you're just learning about GMRS, you find the same thing. Now, a lot of those guys on the GMRS forums are also sad hams. And you know that because in their little signatures on the online forums, they always put all their licenses and everything, just so we all know how important they are with their ham license and their GMRS license and everything else. So you do find the same thing online with GMRS and even just GMRS only operators. But the difference is I don't need their help. I don't have to pass some test to get my GMRS license. I just have to buy it. Whereas with ham, I need help. Most people are going to need some help. And that's where the sad ham does a great job of driving them away, pushing them to GMRS, or in the worst case scenario, pushing them to CB radio. Now, don't get me wrong. This is why I'm making this video. I want to be clear. Ham radio, amateur radio, is very important. And in the big scheme of things, way more important than GMRS. And I've read that the FCC is putting the squeeze on ham radio, trying to take back some of the radio bandwidth spectrum, whatever you call it, taking back some of their frequencies. Some states want to no longer allow ham radio repeaters on public land for free. They want to either push them out or start charging them outrageous rents, which would, in a lot of cases, result in shutting down those ham repeaters. Would not be a good thing. So between the squeeze from the FCC, the squeeze from some states that don't know how to balance their budgets, and sad ham there every day driving away new people from the hobby, driving them away, ham radio is getting the squeeze. It's tough. It's tough to be a ham radio operator. I know. I feel it. It's tough. We feel your pain. And if ham radio dies, that would not be a good thing. We don't want ham radio to go away. Amateur radio, as Sad Ham points out so many times. Lowercase HAM, not uppercase HAM. Big deal with Sad Ham. I've said this before in other videos. I'm going to say it again. When the shit hits the fan, and I mean when it really hits the fan, I don't mean I can't find toilet paper at the grocery store. I mean Rick Grimes, cowboy hat, running up and down the street, calling for Carl. When your electricity goes out, when your internet goes away, those cell phones aren't going to work. The only link to the outside world you and me and the rest of the city or county or whole area are going to have is those ham radio operators. They are important. We do need them. We need you. Don't go away. We need you. So not only is ham radio, amateur radio, very important, that whole infrastructure is very important. It is better, technically, in most ways from GMRS. More repeaters, ham radio repeaters out there by a factor of 1,000, if not 10,000, than GMRS. Most areas, many areas, don't even have GMRS repeaters. I'm in Southern California. I'm lucky. I've got 6 or 7 within 100 miles I can use. There's probably 500 in that same range of ham radio repeaters. There's more ham radio operators by, again, a factor of thousands. If you need help and you pick up a GMRS radio, chances are far less likely that if you need help and you pick up and use your ham radio with a license and you know what you're doing, there's almost always going to be a ham radio operator, a real ham radio operator, not sad ham. They're willing and able to actually get you some help, relay the information to get you the help that you need. There's more ham bands, more ham frequencies than GMRS. GMRS is just a tiny little sliver of channels, 22 channels, not even 22. More like 8. Amateur radio, you've got all, I'm not even going to try to list them. 2 meter, 11 meter, 70 centimeter, HF, VHF, I don't even know. Ham radio like this, GMRS like this, bigger. And on a lot of those bands, you can use more power. You don't need a repeater on some of those bands to talk halfway around the world or all the way around the world on those HF bands. It's just ham, amateur radio is better, technically, just about every way than GMRS. Now, that doesn't mean that ham radio is better in every use case scenario for everybody all the time. I still say, I will continue to say it, I don't care what Sad Ham says, GMRS for most people is better for when you're off-roading or hiking or short distance personal communications up and down the street for the kids to play with. GMRS has got its place. And for me, GMRS is my choice for when I'm off-roading, and that's what I recommend. Because in that little use case scenario, GMRS seems better. I stand by that. Don't try to change my mind. Okay, try to change my mind. Leave a comment if you think you can change my mind. Overall, all factors considered, ham radio, amateur radio is better, technically, and very important. We need ham radio. We need you. Maybe you real ham operators need to get together and talk a little more with the sad ham operators. Keep them from killing your hobby, because they're doing a great job every day, chasing more and more people away. If that's what you wanted them to do, they're doing a good job at it. If you don't want them to do that, somebody ought to talk to them, because sad ham is killing the hobby from the inside out. If you have encountered the sad ham, please leave a comment below, because I know there's a lot of real hams, the good hams, that don't believe it, think I'm over-exaggerating it. Leave your sad ham story below, not only for my entertainment, but so that the real hams can read it, so they understand that this is a serious problem. And maybe they can get the word out, spread the word, get rid of the sad ham. If you agree that ham radio is important, leave a comment. Just let me know, let everybody else know that, yeah, ham radio is important. If you're a ham radio operator, I'm sure that I missed some things about why ham radio is important. Leave a comment. Tell us what I missed. In the past, I've sometimes complained about the 10-paragraph long comments that Sad Ham leaves. I won't complain, because I want to know it all. We need details. Let us know other ways that ham radio is important and why we need it. And maybe together, we can get rid of the sad ham. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you on the trail.